All right, welcome back for another 10 Talk. And we have with us again Miss Emily Price.
Woo!
And I was asking myself a question as we were preparing for this talk, trying to get into the spirit of Advent as we're just at the doorstep of entering into this beautiful season.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes all we need is a simple motivation to take on something new. And sometimes the thing that we take on can be the thing that transforms our lives. But it starts as an idea. But then as it's developed, it becomes something great and oftentimes life-changing.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, what better season to enter into something life-changing than one that is so joyous and so almost magical as Christmas? Everyone. I mean, Christmas isn't very controversial.
Sparkly, beautiful, and people are giving love all around them. Yeah, it's just a special time of the year. And so we want to offer you something during this Advent season that's going to help you not only to enjoy these moments, but also to enter more deeply into the meaning of Advent. And that's something that I think we can help you to do with a series that we put together. It's going to be 4 different challenges, Advent challenges to help you to live the Advent season well. We would not propose something that we weren't convinced about ourselves.
Yes,
and
agreed.
So we like to be fun. We like to have things that inspire us. And so that was our criteria in entering to this. It has to be fun and it has to be meaningful.
Inspiring. And of course, as with most of our talks, oriented towards your family and what you can do with smaller children, older children, whatever you have going on at home. And of course, we're going to do it.
Exactly. So what do we have for you? We're going to pray with you this time. This is the first challenge is going to be a novena, but not a novena that you may have heard of before, have prayed before, or maybe you have, and that'd be great. But we're going to do it again this year. It's going to be a novena to Saint Nicholas.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know what a novena is, don't panic. We will explain. But it's very simple, very easy to do, engaging. You can do it with, as I said, the whole family. It's pretty simple.
And we also found some websites that really make it easy. You can get the novena, the prayers that come right to your inbox. And then there's another one that we'll put in the links in the description at the bottom of this video. But it has all kinds of activities that surround St. Nicholas and what to do on his feast day. So you might find some of those inspiring, and maybe they become one of those traditions that helps transform.
We were both
your
surprised.
Yeah.
I found it with a quick Google search, and we were going through it, and both of us were like, that's amazing.
Yeah, just an amazing website. And we actually we want to do those crafts. We want to do those things. We want to make them part of our life.
Neither of us have kids, so I don't know who we're going to do it with.
It's fine. We're going to find a way.
We'll find it. Yeah, we'll just have to adopt or something.
Exactly.
Well, you won't. You have a vocation. I don't yet. I'll adopt.
All right, so let's jump right into it. Who is St. Nicholas?
Who is he?
Tell us a little bit about him.
Okay, I will tell you a little bit about him. So legends abound about this man, okay? He's a very mysterious fellow, and little is actually known about his real life. So hence why you get sleighs and reindeer and flying things and rooftop landings and chimney sweeps. So he was born to wealthy parents, we know that, and his parents died during an epidemic when he was a young man, which left him with a large inheritance. And he was raised with a strong Catholic faith, and as part of that, he was inspired to give all that he possessed to the poor, the sick, and the suffering in his community. He became a priest, and he was well known for his charity towards the suffering and generous giving to others, which is probably where the whole legend of Santa Claus came from. The idea of giving gifts to others for their own happiness. And he eventually became a bishop in a city called Lycia.
Yeah.
Lycia? Okay. At a young age. So he was a young bishop. And there's some stories about his persecution. And he died on December 6th.
I got to share it just because it was a fun one that we found in one of those activities, taking those St. Nicholas, because we know St. Nicholas as Santa Claus or St. Nick, right, as we often talk about him. And one of the activities took all those little chocolates, Pez dispensers, every little Santa Claus image that they could find, and they made him into St. Nicholas by putting a little bishop's hat on top of each one of those things. So they went around finding all the St. Nicholases or all the Santa Clauses they could find, and they turned him into St. Nicholas. And it was just a way to, recognize that this this guy that we think we know all about is actually a saint, right? And he's a saint who is very generous. And that's the lesson that we can learn just by diving a little bit deeper into these novenas and understanding a little bit more about saints. 9 days is enough time to learn something really in depth. So it's an opportunity, I think, for all of us to enter more deeply into our understanding of who St. Nicholas is, and maybe something that's new for our family that becomes a tradition, as we mentioned before.
I think also, as we know, as Catholics, the central focus, the climax of Advent isn't Santa, right? It isn't Santa Claus. It isn't Saint Nick. It's Jesus Christ being born in human flesh and coming to us for us. And so I think starting to see Santa as Saint Nicholas helps us to again redirect our focus to what really matters in this season, because he lived his life for Christ. And so by seeing it and learning about it and praying to him and asking for his intercession, we're redirected according to the reason for the season.
Exactly. All right. So let's get right into the structure of a novena, because maybe you've never prayed a novena before, and this could be the first time, and it may seem daunting, 9 days, but guess what? It's very simple.
Psha, you got this.
9 days of consecutive prayers that are focused on a specific theme, in this case, St. Nicholas and our devotion to him. And then you present your specific prayer request that you have or that your family has and you want to pray for and ask for that intercession for. And then you just spend that time asking that saint, St. Nicholas in this case, to be especially attentive to your needs. The way that it's structured is simply you start with the sign of the cross. There's a short prayer, and it's the one that you arrive to your inbox every day as you're going through the novena. Then you state your intentions at one point where it's also specified, and then you finish with the sign of the cross. Something super simple to do in your family life, right? Even your youngest kids will enjoy doing this, and it's something that you can dedicate every day to, so it'll remind your kids to pray. It'll help you to have a structure of prayer that you can teach them how to pray, and it's also interceding for your family. So it's bringing you all together, and that's exactly what this Advent season is all about, is coming up close together around Jesus during this time.
Yeah, and you can ask your kids to add their intentions when it says, and it's so easy if you sign up to get the emails from this place. It'll send to your inbox and it lays it all out. You don't have to go looking for anything. It's right there. And it gives you more information on St. Nick, stories from his life, and we'll include that link as well as the activities link down below when we publish the video. So one other request that I have is I love seeing people's family traditions, and I want to be inspired. I want to be inspired by you and what you do. So as a part of this whole Advent campaign, I want you to send me an email, Clearwater Families, with what you're doing, what you're seeing in your family, what kind of fruits you're seeing, what's really working well, what your kids love, what was kind of like an aha moment. Because as I said, I don't have a family. I mean, I have a family, but I don't have a family of my own because obviously I'm here. I don't have a family of my own to do this with. So I want you to share your experiences with me. And then I'm going to take notes for later on when I do have a family.
This one might turn into another 10 Talk just by itself. With all your family traditions, we might end up having to share these because they're such wonderful experiences. So send us messages, and we'll leave our email addresses in the description below as well. I think.
Is that a good idea? We'll think about that.
Yeah. All right. So that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much for being with us. We wish you a blessed Advent season, and especially praying that novena together, which, by the way, it starts on the first Sunday of Advent. So the 28th is the first day, finishes on the feast day of St. Nicholas, which is December 6th, the day which St. Nicholas died, which we often celebrate a saint's death day as their birthday into heaven. So that's why it becomes a feast day for us in the church.
It's cool. It's cool.
Great to be with you. Thank you, and have a wonderful week. We look forward to hearing all your wonderful stories.
God bless.
Bye.